Thank you, Madam Speaker. This amendment, similar to the previous one, makes the possession of restricted pieces, parts of firearms, again, a civil infraction, not a misdemeanor or gross misdemeanor. This is not even firearms here we're talking about, Madam Speaker. This is parts. This strikes again to the point we've made before, that these unserialized firearms are firearms that enthusiasts and hobbyists often build. Increasingly, they're manufacturing these pieces, these parts themselves. As you know, new technology and 3D printing technology allows people to produce parts on a 3D printer in some cases. And this is a booming do-it-yourself, hobbyist, enthusiast marketplace. So what this does is if someone were in possession of a piece, a part, that should be serialized and isn't, they would only be guilty if in possession of such stuff of a civil infraction. And I think that's appropriate to the fact that we're not even talking about firearms here. We're talking about pieces, parts of firearms. So this makes the penalty appropriate to the action, given the nature of the underlying bill. And I think it's the right thing to do. And as we've mentioned so many times, Madam Speaker, we don't want to criminalize the actions of law-abiding citizens. Let's make it a civil infraction. Please vote yes. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Well, one last chance to try to improve this underlying bill. What this amendment would do is it would change some of the language in the underlying bill, which is unduly, unduly broad and unduly narrow at the same time. What this amendment does is it says that these pieces and parts can be serialized by anyone who's not a criminal in a lawful and way that is in accordance with standard practices and procedures. What it says is that you don't have to be a licensed firearm dealer. You just have to be someone who knows the law, practices the law, and is conversant in this line of activity, knows guns, knows firearms, knows how to manufacture or maybe 3D print a piece or a part of a firearm. And if they serialize the piece or part in the proper way, they can do it as long as they are not a criminal, as long as they are not someone with a past that would restrict their ability to own and keep firearms. Again, our purpose here, Madam Speaker, is to improve the underlying bill by separating its focus from law-abiding citizens and criminals. We want to discourage bad behavior and violence of criminals, but not criminalize law-abiding residents. Let's make this underlying bill better, Madam Speaker. It needs it. Vote yes on this amendment. Thank you, Madam Speaker. House Bill 1705 is a bad bill. Please vote no. We need common sense solutions to the problems we face, Madam Speaker. We face problems in this state. Crime rates are up. Violent crime rates are up. And this is in part because we've had misplaced policy that has given perverse incentives to both criminals and law-abiding people in this state. Madam Speaker, I had an interesting fact I came across recently. In the last year or so in this state, many cars have been stolen, over 30,000 by some estimates. The State Patrol was able to recover only about 100. And all of those vehicles that were stolen had vehicle identification numbers, VIN numbers on them. Serial numbers by themselves don't prevent crime. If you want to know what the risk of ghost guns are, talk to your local law enforcement, as I've done. What the sheriffs in my part of the state tell me is they don't really keep statistics on unserialized firearms. They know that they're a presence, but they don't quantify what kind of a presence they are in crimes. But what they will tell you, Madam Speaker, is this, that the ghost guns that they find at crime scenes and related to crimes are not semi-automatic rifles. They're pistols. And what the criminals who use the pistols do, as they've been doing for decades, is they'll file off or acid etch off the serial numbers that were on those pistols, because the pistols were at some point legal firearms. They became ghost guns when a criminal intending to do crime, to do wrong, took the precaution of removing the serial number. That's what our public policy needs to focus on, Madam Speaker, not on hobbyists and enthusiasts and sports people who build their own long barrel firearms for sport or for pleasure. This bill, 1705, is misdirected. It's misfocused. It misses the mark. What we need to do, Madam Speaker, is we need to focus on criminals who will continue to file off serial numbers or acid etch off serial numbers if they intend to commit crime.
The good member, you are out of time.